All right. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Are we totally ready?
Are we ready?
Are we ready? Do it.
I'm waiting for Jeff.
Oh, come on, Jeff. Really?
Seriously,
Pick up my
all the
phone.
wires. Yeah, I'm going to pick up my phone. Yeah, we're so
It's a high-tech
professional.
podcast here. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and shutting mental up. It doesn't matter what kind of La Champ or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
Much.
We even think you drifto hella flush, fellas. All right? Who put fellas in this? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of low-dollar racing, and if you're lucky, Chrissy might give you just a tip. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental. And folks, thanks so much for coming back to another king-worthy episode of our podcast. It's episode 43, and if you get that joke, let us know, because, well, darn it, it's funny.
You didn't say
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I know I did, because I took it out, because 43 is a funnier joke. So let's move on to...
We're recording this on 7-Eleven free slushy day.
Did you get a free slushie?
Did not, because there's no 7-Elevens around here.
Oh,
Eric Rood did. He's in the Midwest. He gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I did.
So Eric, aside from free slushies, what you working on?
Well,
who is this man? Please introduce yourself again in case they miss you.
I'm Eric Rood. I work for 24 Hours of Lemons as a BS judge and doing media and all that kinds of other fun crap.
And
So,
Eric has
at
the
moment,
poor
I'm-
judgment to continue to join us at this show repeatedly. He is our number one guest. And
Even though
we love him
Has
for
his
it, but
own show.
I know.
He was asking
seriously,
you on
have
Wednesdays.
You own your own two shows, but we love having you. We'll take you every time.
Yeah. You
All
guys
right,
don't
Eric.
suck that much. I get
What are you
that.
working on?
Well, that's high praise. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's right.
right,
So
let
my station wagon, Doris, the Oldsmobile Cutlass Cruiser wagon, is soon to be featured in an episode of Lemon's World, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh.
Currently, it's not running. It has an idle stalling problem. I can't figure it out. But I need to figure that out because I'm going to take it to the Concours de Lemons near Detroit at the end of the month. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I think it's an idle air control valve mostly is the problem. So also it might just be it's GM, so it could just be a wire.
Because
GM.
Because GM. Yeah, exactly.
Your average GM car will run shitty longer than most cars will run.
100% true.
And they all those front drive V6s all make that wonderful noise no matter what RPM they're at. It's always just. That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much that. That'll be in the Lemon's World video. When
Oh,
it
good.
comes out.
Fantastic.
So let me check some facts here before I say what I'm working on. How many days do you have to fix this? Like the end of the month, so like 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. I'll be gone this weekend, so it kind of shortens it. But yeah,
Chris, how many days is it until we run the NASA track day? Is that like 8?
It's
Oh, it's
a
more
week,
He's
than
looking at the
a
calendar.
week plus, like 9
A
or
week
10.
plus.
Yeah.
Week and a half.
9 days. So I have 2 vehicles that are not running that need to run.
And
that
none of
cannot
them are
move under its own power.
close.
Only one of them is in the state I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
is the other one a
what
Rolls Royce?
I
No.
have no.
No, it's not.
So we
One
are
is a Citroen.
NASA
Actually, the Citroen runs fine.
Sure. So maybe I'll take that. So we are running the NASA Great Lakes Region Pit Race. What is the name of the event? It's just track.
Pit
Pit
stop. Or something.
race.
I don't know.
Pit
Whatever.
stop.
NASA
yeah,
at
whatever.
pit race. It's
NASA at pit
it's
race.
boring.
At
Right.
the middle of the month here. It is July of 2018, and I was taking advantage of Chris leaving me his small trailer. I was bringing some furniture home, including my new podcast desk, and my tow pig died. Like literally, like driving on the road, all of a sudden, engine said, "I'm not running anymore. I don't care what you do." It was like someone pulled the plug out of the television. It was like, done, nothing.
How
Couldn't
far
get it
away from you from
restarted.
your house?
Oh, I was like blocks from my house with a trailer filled with furniture. And I died.
Awesome.
And I like coasted into it. My wife was following me. I coasted into a spot in a local Target parking lot, By the way, the same Target parking lot that I Target. I'm like, this is like a trend here, and it honestly felt like no fuel was going anywhere. So I said, when's the last time I filled this thing? Don't remember. Let's get some fuel. Put the fuel in it. Nothing. Still not. All of a sudden, it like one cylinder started reporting like. So I took it home. I plugged the scanner in it, and it says maybe crank angle sensor. Chris has suggested that it is fuel pump, POMP, spelled like they
just needs fuel pump.
Just needs fuel pump. Either way, I parked it in the side yard, and I have not touched it yet.
Go ahead, Eric.
When fuel pump change lease.
It's if only it's not.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Jeff,
just give it to me, Jeff. Just let me do the engine transplant on my rust-free Suburban.
One cylinder of that engine is almost as big as the whole Civic's engine. So
True.
It's an 8.1 liter, so that means each cylinder is a little over a liter. Like, that's incredible. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Just the one.
So all of this is required because I had to take Chris's trailer back. Did it get back? No. It's still in my yard.
I haven't seen my trailer.
I still had Chrissy's Mazda 3. Did that get returned?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. It did.
You're not taking this stuff again. No.
It did. So I returned to lovely Birdsboro, Pennsylvania to complete the Miata project with all of the parts I thought I needed in hand. And we spent an entire day extracting the 2 broken bolts in the wobble, the lower control arm, rear lower control arm.
Not at all.
5 hours later, what was my level of frustration, Chris and Chrissy, in a scale of 1 to 10?
You were, screw this.
I was pretty fed up.
Flipping over tables.
You weren't quite. It wasn't Connie level of frustration.
No, it wasn't Connie level, but it was pretty close.
It was. Yeah, it was kind of like arrive and drive, crash the car level of frustration, though.
Yeah.
Mental.
So, hold on, mental. Let me finish this sentence. So, I ended up using the hot glue gun of steel to put the final bolt that I stripped. So basically, the driver's side rear suspension is completed. It's 14 days from track day. No car, no truck to pull it. I don't know what's going on. Go on, mental. What do you?
I feel like Connie level of frustration is like the final scene in Dragon Ball Z when like one of them just like lights up and does a nuclear explosion.
It wasn't that bad. It was more like sad panda. I wasn't flipping the Monopoly board. I was more like.
Wah, wah.
I think I'm gonna you kept like the sad trombone got worse and worse all day. So it was like, because we started and we're like, okay, we're using the drill press. We'll figure it. Yes, we're getting close. Oh, great. We did Citroen better all day.
But hey, you know what?
It's better. Oh, it's not better.
Even having those sad, pathetic days of wrenching where nothing goes right, when you're not by yourself doing it, it's still better.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I'm glad I was with people because
I
would have just kind of like left the tools. I wouldn't have put my tools away, and that's always a bad thing. So I decided for a change of pace, instead of driving Chrissy's 3 home, I'll drive the Suburban.
That's not really how that went down, but
I parked it near the Avalanche, and I said, See, this is what a truck is supposed to do. It's supposed to drive when you need it. I'm sad panda. I do want to mention that I did receive my NASA membership card, and tonight we record at 8 p.m. and at 5:30 my brother said, "Hey, can we change a tire on my car?" And I was like,
"He does not."
No.
Yes, he's still running the snow tire that he blew from a tire that he never got. It's May.
It was before May, wasn't it?
It was right before Jersey.
Oh,
yeah, it was right before Jersey. So I said yes. He says, I'm going to Boston like for a college visit, so I need my tire changed. And then in like the text message, he just kind of slips in, and a brake job, and I'm bringing brake parts. I was like, what? Excuse me, brake job.
And this is why we love Jeff so much.
Oh, you just show up at my house with something broken and I will fix it.
If it only were your own cars,
my own cars will never get fixed.
The
anyway,
cobbler's children has no shoes.
Luckily, he could not find the parts, so I only changed the tire.
Okay.
And now I'm here.
Okay, great. So this weekend, we spent some time down Philly, and then we took the ferry to go see a Foo Fighters show, and we were in beautiful Kansas, New Jersey, which was awesome. Then we came home on Sunday and did some various car work. By those guys, well, I definitely helped Jeff do his stuff. I focused on replacing my headlights, which makes it look like a new car, and that's awesome. So today I hit 217,000 miles on the car, and the headlights haven't been there quite that long, but they one had water in it, so we made an exchange.
The right headlight was 200. It was original 217,000. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one had been replaced. So, but both looked yellow and
damn
gross.
deer.
So. Yeah.
They do look fantastic.
They look fantastic.
It absolutely transformed the look of that car.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. So, and then we're going away this weekend.
And it's loved. It's a good looking, well-loved car.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
So I helped Chrissy and Jeff with adult supervision for their various projects, which was fun. And while at the same time also half tearing the motor that we put together for the Civic back apart because I went to turn it and before I put the cylinder head on it, and I got almost all the way around, and then stop. Oh.
What were wrong?
The rods. I didn't check the clearance of the rods on the main girdle, and I knew that was a problem. I didn't clearance the main girdle enough, so I had to take the main girdle back off, clearance the main girdle for the rods because they're not stock rods anymore, and put it all back together. But it's fine.
Or if we're in front of a Lemons judge, they're totally stock rods. I don't know what happened at all. Yeah, no,
totally stock rods.
He cares.
Totally stock. Yeah.
You have a giraffe on your car. What the hell do I care?
Yeah, exactly.
This is how the logic of this works.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
it?
actually tonight,
No.
Tonight the Civic ran for the first time with a new motor. So that's always good. Got one heat cycle in it.
It's awesome.
Got a heat cycle in it. That's nice. It didn't make any noise. They were too bad, and it seemed okay. So that was nice. The Miata's still here, like Jeff said, and actually we had a fun story about the Miata still being here. So after we haven't told you this story. This is new. I'd saved this so we're in Burn and Pod. So,
Good.
So right after you left, the Miata in the garage, the NSX on the one side of the driveway. I want to put the NSX in the garage.
Like 10 o'clock, right?
Right.
9:30, 10 o'clock.
On the wheels, ready to move.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Miata starts up. Okay, great. I back it out into the street, and I sit with it for a minute. And first off, I love the fact that when I turn the headlights on, that one of them comes up faster than the other, because that says class.
Miata.
Like that. Right.
Welcome to unloved 1990 Miata.
Also, that the parking lights don't work at all. Like when you turn on parking lights, like one click up, nothing comes on. When you click 2 clicks up to the headlights, everything comes on, except obviously it has no gauge lights, and you knew this because you put this string of LEDs in the bottom of the cluster just to shine up with the lights. So
I did.
Chris was like, "Come here," and I was like, "I'm walking towards the car in the pitch black," and so he's like, "The lights don't work." Duh, there's no lights on.
Look at the gauge. Look at the gauge, and watch the headlights.
Look how jank this is.
Okay. So anyway, that's
nobody
all
can see that except for you.
It works. It's not stupid.
So
sure. Okay. Wait for it.
I'm sitting there and giving it a couple minutes to run because it would start up slow because a lawnmower battery in it. And but I was sitting there in neutral with the e-brake up, and it was holding. It was fine. Okay. So when I'm done, I shut the car off. I walk in the house. Whatever. We get ready to bed. We're in bed. I'm reading in bed.
We had the window open because it was pretty nice that night. So
I already know what happened.
I'm
reading in bed, and then I hear outside, out the window,
crash.
The Miata had rolled forward and
into my
rear-ended Chrissy's
car.
Into the 3?
Yes.
Yes. Chris is like, "What the hell was that?" And he gets up
outside,
and he's like,
and the Miata is humping
Miata
the
hit my car.
It's sniffing the tailpipe.
Yes.
Like my dogs do.
That right there.
No,
so
I don't want my car to be rear-ended by your car.
So now it's in
Be a
gear.
snob.
I had not put it in gear because it was fine.
Your $200 Miata is not good enough to hump my Mazda 3.
Fortunately, the Mazda was in the way of the Mercedes, which was also.
And it was all stopping. If it had not stopped, those cars had not been
your
there.
Your hill is like quarter mile long.
Oh yeah,
it would have ruined our favorite pizza place.
Yeah, but I don't even know that it would have gone into somebody else's house.
Right.
Like there are houses. If it would have
just
gone
no
straight,
curbs. It would have just like jumped
up
the little,
jumped the
slanty things.
and it would have went into the back of somebody's house while it picked up speed going down our street. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
The parking brake doesn't work real good. Leave it in gear, man.
Thanks. Appreciate that. It's there now.
You owe me a new bumper.
Did it do any damage? I do apologize.
But that's fine.
It
didn't do
we think it was more paint.
Fine.
It's
fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
It's not fine when you wake up with the freaking Miata, or get up and like the Miata is in the back of my car, and like we're kind of upset. Okay, so like when this happens, wait,
yes.
Anyway.
No, I
had just gotten my car back, so
I know
like,
from him.
Excited.
All right. So that's a good story.
I can't do my segment. I'm laughing too hard.
So that happened. And then we were like, do we tell you? No, we're going to wait for the podcast because your freaking car hit
do it at the podcast.
Car.
So I don't know. Let's talk about the butcher's bill. Your brand new trailer fell off my truck and drug on the pavement.
Yeah.
Also, and then
30 feet from my house.
30 feet from your house. And then my car hit Chrissy's car, which I just returned because you so graciously lent it to me.
And you have my truck.
And
also
now
30
I still
feet
have
from
your
house, right?
I don't know why people hang out with
me. Why are we friends?
Exactly.
You have to wait till episode 43 to realize that maybe we shouldn't be friends.
Oh, damn it.
I believe I'm the only person who ran a race car into your regular cars.
No, there was somebody else that happened.
No, he is the only one that ran a race car into it. When the Citroen, he ran the Citroen into the Suburban, and
yes,
yeah.
Eric, I'd like your judgment on this. If I'm working on the engine of a car, and it happens to be in gear in an automatic transmission and slides across the paddock into a poorly parked trailer connected tow pig, who's technically at fault?
Was this at Summit Point, or was that something totally different?
Totally different. This is New Hampshire. New Hampshire.
Was it New Hampshire?
No, Thompson. When he
New Hampshire. It was crazy cold.
Thompson when he smashed the wall with the race car.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Jeff.
You guys are a calamity. All of you are a calamity.
Yeah.
Oh my God! We just started the show and we're like not going to be friends anymore. We probably should move on a little.
Yeah, we need to move on.
We have a lot to go.
We do.
Thank you, Chrissy.
All right, so recovery from the race weekend. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes, under 3.5 minutes, I promise. I had a bus drivers meeting. I've got physicals scheduled for that kind of stuff. And as I mentioned, this is the last week of the long-haired, bearded...
Day drunk.
Yeah, okay, day drunk mental. And and then Saturday I'm teaching the Drive Strong Atlanta Teen Drivers course at Atlanta Motorsports Park on Saturday. Link in our show notes.
Cool. What are you doing there? Teaching teens how to drive, like safe driving or track driving or what?
Why is he teaching them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
BMW keeps a rotating set of 3 series up there, and what we do is we use the Atlanta Motorsports skid pad, and we put them in dangerous situations and kind of get them used to the driver's aids in modern cars. One of the things they'll do is they'll set up an autocross course, and then you do your best to distract them, and you make them text, and you do those other kind of stuff, and you see who's got the worst and the best time of the autocross course while they're distracted. Just trying to get kids in the mindset of, hey, driving is a dangerous thing. Do it better.
Cool. Awesome. I'm all about that.
Awesome.
And then you drift around the wet skid pad in the brakes, right?
Woo! With your hands out the windows. Yep.
Double thumbs up. News and notes time.
Okay, we're moving on.
Where are we going? Who wants to start? Eric, do you have news and notes? Your name is there, but I see no actual news.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
Oh, he's got a whole segment on that. That's news.
That's true. Yeah. It's true. We're gonna talk to Eric about the Lemons Rally, which just finished. The mistake around the lake. What is the title of that rally, Eric?
Great Lakes Mistake.
Great Lakes Mistake. So we'll be discussing that in ad nauseum because it's going to make you all sick how much we talk about it. But this might only make the ladies sick. George Clooney crashed his scooter in Sardinia. Video available. Has anyone seen this video yet?
No, I heard about it, and Chris had not even heard about it. I just told him on our way home.
Tonight, we took the scooter to the restaurant, and as we were scooting up home, Chrissy said, "Hey, did you hear George Clooney just crashed his scooter?"
Yeah, so here's the deal. He's in Sardinia, which I had to look up. That's in Italy.
Yes.
He is filming something. Who the hell knows? It's for Netflix. And a WT10 long roof Mercedes front end collisioned him, popped up onto the hood. The closing speed looked like it was probably 40 plus miles an hour. George Clooney is supposedly fine. Bumps, bruises, scratches, and scrapes kind of deal. He was helmeted, broken. But man, I want to tell you, this guy in the Mercedes, I don't know I can't see the road to know if it was who was crossed what line, but that guy basically said, the guy in the Mercedes, didn't see a thing, sun was in my eyes, just heard a thump, and all of a sudden George Clooney is on his hood. It's a scary looking crash. Everyone go check out that video.
He's got a good drinking story for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Like he needs them, really.
Yeah. But good on him for having a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a contractual obligation.
Well, his wife's also a lawyer. You don't want to hit George Clooney.
No.
Okay.
She's like a world-class civil rights lawyer. I don't know if she does like trips and falls.
Yeah, she's not doing personal injury. She'll get you the money you deserve.
If you want a world-class civil rights lawyer stepping into your ambulance chaser, she will crush all of you.
I've seen her. She can crush me. It's okay. This one's for Rood. 8 p.m. July 18th on television. Do you know what event I'm talking about?
July. What's the date?
That is next Wednesday. The ESPYs. Why is this important to you? Hosted by Danica Patrick.
No.
That's interesting enough. I know. He's here. He's for the TFL podcast. All right. Am I doing all three, or are you guys mixing up here? I'll keep going.
Keep going.
All right,
go for it.
Thompson Bracket GP. We talked about it last week. Marshall, the organizer, has responded to my questions. I just wanted to fill in a few of the gaps. There were 21 cars started. 3 people canceled late. And the reason the race started late is there was multiple divisions at the event. So he did not have the track until 11 a.m. or something, like whatever time it started. And there was a medical emergency in the division before him that required an ambulance on the track. And the driver had to be recorded at the hospital. Everybody's fine. But that delayed them for 15 minutes at the grid. So he blames track. Track blames him. He's basically saying, what are you going to do? He definitely took the hit. He says, I was the one who changed the time without talking to the track, but it did not change how everyone ended. Everyone was fine. There was no, change. He is in the process of negotiating 5 races for 2019. And
good. Because I was worried that would kill that series. It's a good series.
Yeah, and he does a couple of different types of events with different types of cars. And in the other divisions, his circle track divisions, he pays back 24 spots like contingency purses. So he is going to try and bring that to the Bracket GP next year. Good on him. I'm going to put those dates on my calendar and see if we can make it.
Yeah, that's badass. Good on you, Marshall.
Yeah, cool. Anybody want to read about World Racing League since I've said 3 things already?
Chrissy.
Me? Oh, okay. Yeah. They were having their Peachtree Grand Prix this weekend at Road Atlanta. 9 hours Saturday, 7 hours Sunday. Because Jesus hate race motors on Sunday. That's why we don't race in the morning. And there is a list: 33 cars, 12 BMWs, 12 Miatas, no Hondas. So many Miatas. Go ahead. Only 33 cars at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that's like having the track to yourself. That's sad. It's HPDE that you don't have to point by.
Or it's awesome.
No,
33 cars on Road Atlanta.
So boring.
I love that.
No, you'd get bored. Actually, Road Atlanta is more interesting. It's not like you go to NJMP Lightning with 33 cars and you want to shoot yourself.
Yes,
absolutely you do.
Yeah, no, Road Atlanta, I could have fun by myself. Yeah, NJMP Lightning, Snoozeville.
You at least need a few cars to have fun with. That's one nice thing I like about Lemons is you always find someone to race with. It doesn't matter what you're racing. You will find someone to have a good time battling, and that's nice.
So what kind of car do you like there?
What kind of card I'd like? None of them. No, actually, I do like. There's a Z4 Coupe. There's a Z4 Coupe, which I like because we had an M Coupe for a long time. It was a great car, and I really quite liked it. So that was good.
Yeah, that's number 45. That's R&R Racing. So yeah, and they're in GP1. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, probably. GP1 is actually the second fastest class. The fastest class, I believe, is GTO, and that's where
it's their cheater class.
It's their cheater class, yeah. But this I want to tell you. The E92 M3s are in there. The M235R is in there. And for some reason, the 2 Mitsubishi Eclipses the 88 and the 98 and 97 DSMs for some reason are in the fastest class. No. I have no idea why.
I think it's because if I'm not mistaken, I think they have Nissan engine swaps, and they're outside of the rule book on that one.
I just thought
those are the Tuttle ones.
He just said, Harry, I got to win this race tonight, so I need 2 tanks in my race.
Yes, that is number 108 and 107 Tuttle Motorsports Racing in their Mitsubishi Eclipses. Again, I can't imagine that they are going to be able to keep up with the M3s and the E92 M3s and all that other stuff. So
not at Road Atlanta, they're not. Nope.
No.
And to the surprise of no one, I'm a big fan of the number 24 Vector and the number 609 because those are both Porsche 924s. Oh, you guys are going to hate the back straightaway, but have fun anyway.
The worst Porsches ever. All right. Good.
Really?
I don't Shut up.
I think so.
So we also have the entry list for the Champ Car Racer at Brainerd International. Where the heck is Brainerd? I don't even know. Minnesota. Thank you. Midwest people. There are 27 cars, 8 BMWs, 3 Miatas, 2 Hondas, actually Acuras, no Porsches, and 1 Alfa Romeo.
What's an Alfa Romeo doing in Minnesota?
I don't know.
I do like the drinking team with a racing problem with their 92 Escort GT because
how does that even exist in the Midwest?
Minnesota anymore? I don't know. It's more Mazda than anything else, but hey, good for them that that's what they're running. Also, there's another team with a 04 Acura TL. I like to see the big girls out there.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Eric.
Yeah, the Northern Shiners actually have won an index of affluency, and they will be racing with the Champ Car at Brainerd. It's a G-body. It's a G-body Cutlass with a 307 and a 3-speed auto.
Wow! The 307 is a fine engine.
If you're looking for a boat hanger,
for holding things down. Right.
All right, I like the Team Quadrifoglio, which is an 83 Alfa Romeo, only because we started to get into a conversation about how I once bought a Alfa Romeo. Well, we bought one Alfa Romeo engine off of Craigslist for $50. Walked up and said, "I'm taking this engine." They're like, "Oh, what are you doing with it?" We said, "We're just going to make a kitchen table out of it." And then I kept it in the back of my Mazda. Coffee table, I'm sorry. I kept it back in my Mazda, and I drove to work and back, and people were like, "What's in the back of your truck?"
It's aluminum. It's not going to hurt your gas mileage that much.
Oh no! But it happened to be in the back of my trunk, so people walked by my car, and they're like, "You have an engine in the back of your truck?" And I'm like,
"Rear engine,
you don't have an engine in the back of your car? What's the
right? It doesn't work, but it's cool, and it's going to be a coffee table." So that's my Alfa Romeo story.
You've said that, and it has sat in your garage or in your basement for how long now?
It is actually clean.
Jeff, you do not want to start the unfinished project conversation. I love you, brother. I do.
Jeff,
you know us well.
Do you want to have a working race car, or do you want me to have a coffee table?
No, working race car. You're right.
Do you want to have this fight? Yeah. No, you don't.
No.
I did like Gorilla Sticker because they've got an 84 Scirocco, which is the first year of the 2 wiper arms. I had an 83, which is the 1-armed Bandit. But of course, the cars that stick out to me because I'm the Georgia guy is the IFW Motorsports and the C&J Racing cars. One's running a 99 Pontiac Firebird. The other one's running a 1980 Chevy Camaro Z28. If you don't understand why, let me play you the song of my people. All right, but that's what I got.
Okay.
Cool. Let's just go on to Lucky Dog because I don't care about that.
Yeah, they were at Portland.
Other story,
National Race this weekend, which is Portland's a great town. That's fun. Saturday 46 started. First went to Praying Mantis 2:45. Second was Blue Bayou also with 2:45. So that was a nice close time. And their fast laps were within a second of each other. Third was the Race Invaders 243 laps, but they set the fast time of the race with a 1:28. So that was good tight racing. Sunday only 37 started. Blue Bayou managed to get to the overall with 281 laps and kept to the 129. Socket Monkeys Racing Team, that's funny. They were 280 laps. So I like that. Awesome. Third went to Hall Pass, 270 laps. Good for them. Why not?
Nice. All right. So speaking of Lucky Dog, we got coming up this weekend, July 13th, 14th. Lucky Dog's going to be at the 7.5-hour Enduro, which has been sold out apparently since last year and only has a limit of 45 cars. So we'll see where is that.
This is at Laguna, right?
Laguna.
Oh, it is a Laguna.
Raceway. Yeah. So
that's why it's been sold out forever. Is because it's Laguna.
Yes. Right. And Randy any purposes.
Mazda Race
That
Lane,
is-
Laguna Seca.
That is 2 7.5
No longer.
hours, right? Yeah, they didn't. It's not Mazda anymore.
Oh, it's
Double.
not? Oh.
WeatherTech.
Yeah,
No,
WeatherTech.
WeatherTech bought it. Yeah.
All right.
and they have no title sponsor at the moment. Is that true, or do they get a title sponsor?
It's WeatherTech.
WeatherTech.
Oh, WeatherTech.
Weather-
Oh, okay.
You just said it like 3
If
times.
you're ever
Jeff.
wondering what the sponsor of anything is, it's WeatherTech.
Oh, got it. You're right.
Buy their mats.
American made.
Yeah.
American made mats. Hashtag.
Okay,
totally
let's move on to
sponsors.
AER and NCM.
So I was at AAR this weekend at Bowling Green with the RTF team. Excellent picks available. We're going to have everyone who was on that team. All of their Instagram links are at the bottom of the page, so just pop into that one. So you've got the Boost Brothers, Farah, Kevin Madsen, Wired Chuck, Brian McTaggart from Bang Shift. All those guys did a great job of documenting it, and their Instagram's in the show notes. Eric, you've got something on this before Chrissy takes over.
Brian McTaggart has the 360 cubic inch V8 out of the Dodge Magnum project
Yes,
that I
he does.
failed at.
Oh, out of your
He
mats.
has that motor.
Oh.
Nice.
McTaggart has so many great projects. He showed up on Sunday with his limo. It was awesome. He's a great guy.
What is he doing
Right.
with that motor? What is he
knows?
doing with that motor? Anything? Do we know? No.
It's going to go into
No.
something sinister. He's a big quarter mile guy.
Oh, got it. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Chrissy.
NCM, small field, 21 cars registered. That's not much.
Really?
17 took the green, 8 BMWs, 5 Miatas, 1 Mustang, 1 K swapped onto Fit. Weird.
Well, they lost
whoa.
money. Hey.
That's cool.
Yeah, loose cannon 997 car joined late, busting the decibel limit Friday and redoing their exhaust. They had wall contact and left on a trailer.
Yep. Serves them right.
Sounds like a Porsche guy.
Exactly.
Right?
F this. I'm going home. After he backs
What
into a
kind
wall.
of exhaust do you need on a 997
Well, it's
to
a
break the
10
decibel limit?
It's a 105
No
decibel
exhaust.
limit right there
That's
at the
Holy crap.
one corner at NCM because of the house. And yeah, dude, they blasted it. And all they had to do was turn it down, but they got to Porsche E on it, and I know who I am saying that. Eric, you
Turned down for what?
Well played,
Dun,
good sir.
dun,
And this is
dun,
why
dun,
Eric
And
this is why Eric is the most popular guest on this show.
Absolutely.
Right.
Wow.
So, no way we can top that, but-
105 decibels.
Oh, yeah.
That's loud.
Yeah. Put a damn
And
super
GMT
trap on
is
it.
like-
It's
yeah, exactly.
fine.
And GMT is like 90 and nobody gets caught.
Hell, our Civic
Chris,
has
go.
no muffler, and it
Yeah.
passes all these things. Right. All right. Hey, on Saturday overall in Class 5, top went to some M3. I don't care. They managed. Don't care. It's an M3. Fine.
Honestly, here's the
Don't
they
care.
were chewing
Next,
up tires.
class 4.
Watch those guys do a tire change in like 30 seconds. It was well done. Jeff.
Good for them.
Yeah, I was going to say more M3s all over the place. Gosh.
All
This
one.
AER is like, what color is your M3? That's what kind of.
The black one
So
or the
there's
black
a-
one?
There's a class 4 M3. I don't understand this. A 99 M3.
Well, it's a 99.
That's not as fast.
Sure. So yeah, they went 955 just for fun. They had 206 laps, and the other 4 cars were sorting issues. So with this many and the classing system that AER does, when the field gets small, there's not as many cars in each class. So they still won with 209 laps. Car Dorks were there. They had a 93, 325, and they were 3 laps behind. But there's pit stops, and yeah, there's all kinds of things going on. Chris, what you got?
With 21 cars and 5 classes, that means there's a minimum of 4 cars. So this is almost everyone gets a trophy, like participant.
Almost.
Basically.
Class
Yeah.
5 was 2 cars, but all of it was actually in
Yeah.
Class 2. So 214, Casey Carden Motorsports knocked out 196 laps. TCS in that K-swapped Fit, which is glorious. Kept the pressure on him with 192, but that K-swap is thirsty, so they added a couple of extra pit stops, so they dropped at 192 laps. 755 WM Racing, they just kept going. It's a Miata, and they didn't think they had a shot at it, but they just kept plugging along, and that put them on the podium with third. And then Sunday, Casey Carty did it again. He just does a great job of prepping that 214 NC Miata. But TCS was 1 lap back after fighting their extra pit stop, and third went to Don't Paddock in that very well-worn race spec E30 with 191 laps. But the big thing is I had the most epic battle of my on-track career against Maryland, the 76 Miata against Adam Diamond, who's a listener and a friend on the show. So for 80 minutes, he did not give me an inch, and I gave him no mercy. We were just on top of everything. I've never gotten out of a race car more exhausted or smiling harder. There is a video on our new YouTube channel. Everyone Racers new YouTube channel. Yeah, that's right. You can see there, and that link's going to show up on our webpage, and it's a good video of how bad of a driver I am. Chris, you got something for me?
I just want to say that out of everything we just talked about at ER, that last paragraph was by far the best thing we talked about. So I want to hear about your experience there. I don't care which M3 came in which bullshit spot. I want to hear about your experience. That's good stuff.
Especially
Thank
since you were there.
Wait. I'd like to hear about your experience also. Did I see a picture of some sort of crashed vehicle that you were claiming was your error? How come you didn't mention that?
And that was early on.
In that video, and it was totally not my error. And you can watch the video. On my out lap, I got hit by another by one of the new MX-5s, and they just totally came in. And while I was still on track, they came over to apologize. But yeah, they traded paint, and the Boost brothers had to bend that fender back out before we went back out on Sunday. So and it broke the antenna on our radio. So I spent 80 minutes with no radio.
Some people love that.
No music.
I was going to say.
I hate that. I love having communications, but this was great. So Kevin Madsen actually provided the onboard video on that and the data analysis. And after that day, he sat down with me and he analyzed everything. And we've talked about data analysis before, but oh God, actually having someone who does this for a living sit down with you, it was eye-opening. And the next day, Matt Farah went out there and knocked 2.5 seconds off of his best lap using the data that Kevin Madsen. So if you're looking for a pro coach out on the West Coast, Kevin Madsen is it. And you can find all those links. We're going to have a great link to Jack Bruce Instagram on there. It was a great time. And me and Adam have been texting each other back and forth. And when I ran into him after the whole stint, he was as sweaty and as exhausted as I was. And he was grinning like a fool. It was just, it's what racing is supposed to be about.
Yeah, I'm looking at this video. This video is excellent. Great. No, seriously, great camera placement. Very clear. I like the overlay of the data. Yeah, there it is.
Someday we'll get there.
Madsen knows his stuff, man.
I think our videos look great. We just don't do the data overlay or actually.
We don't have access to the data
yet.
Or to the
we don't have it
video
yet. We'll get there.
All right, ready to move on?
Yes,
stuff.
Listener feedback.
Okay, so last week we asked everybody what the grossest or weirdest things you found in your car. So we had so many responses, pretty disturbing. Many things were awesome. So apparently, a PT Cruiser had a bag full of unmentionables in them. An Odyssey had a rotting ground beef with maggots.
Mention them.
No, I'm not. I'm mentioning them. I
did it with a wiffle ball bat.
An Odyssey had ground beef with maggots. A Datsun porn ads inside a Jehovah's Witness handbook. Ant nest in a 78 Dodge van. Tim found a very dead raccoon under a customer's hood. An ATM receipt that reported the old owner had $68K in the bank. Some needles, some weed, and plenty of other stuff. So thank you so much for posting up great stories. Bonus points go to Derek for a very gross car, the video of a very gross car, and Tim sent his pictures in of the very dead raccoon. So thanks for posting the pics.
I'm not gonna mention live, but someone who raced with us, and we may have built his cage in his Subaru, mentioned that not only did he find weed in the car that he was cleaning out, but it wasn't very good weed either.
That was the weed. Okay, so we also posted on what you're working on for the holiday weekend, and we had a bunch of people that were replied with their pictures on our Facebook page. A lot of car work. Chris was working on his Gambler 500 truck. Chris S. replaced their lower ball joints on his wife's daily V6 2009 Accord without much luck. Matt was working on his race Jeep. Donnie added a cowl scoop. Eric fixed his Audis and then covered them all up. And then John picked up a new ride. He fixed his Audi.
Eric. The cars he fixed, Eric's cars that his babies are a 993 and a 987S Cayman.
Okay, so he fixed an Audi. He had to fix his Audi,
and then covered his Porsche.
His babies are Porsches. Got it.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about the Audi.
And you didn't. What? You're not on Facebook. Shut up. Okay, so John picked up a new ride, a green Wrangler, and Brian made a probably kind of janky playset. Sorry,
I didn't think it looked janky at all.
Oh, it looked
Brian Matt's been on this show before, and there's no way that playset is janky.
Okay.
He just mentioned that he sourced automotive hardware to do it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Owen
he has
was driving
a
his
bolt
vehicle.
box. Come on.
He does. He's got a bolt box.
Okay,
Exactly.
so all right. This is blue. You got a
Mental.
No. So yeah, Curtis, you sent me a present, and as I mentioned in my text back, I'm going to have to start demanding gluten-free Twinkies because I'm a quarter of the talent of a top-rated national podcast. But Chrissy, you've got something.
You're doing a podcast other than ours?
Yeah, totally.
And I got nothing. So go ahead.
No. Chrissy, you're mentioning that there's a place where you don't have to work on cars.
Yes, fortunately, there is some place you can race cars without working on them.
Jeff.
No, that's out. I'm trying to figure out what's the connection here. Actually, that place is Extreme Experience.
What a smooth lead-in. That was great.
Sorry,
Man.
not sorry.
When you typed it up,
seat.
Chrissy, it was brilliant.
Extreme
Oh,
Experience puts
brilliant.
you in the driver's seat for some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada with no speed limits, no shifting restriction, no governors. Head to xxspeed.com to choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. 7 models of exotic cars to choose from, 20-plus racetracks, year-round location in New Orleans. Pro instructors like Mental, Chris, or me in the car with you, helping you explore the car's limits and learn how to drive the racing line. Save 25% today when you use the code, actually every day, when you use the code EveryoneRacers at xxspeed.com. Everyone Racers, one word, xxspeed.com. Book today, 25% off single car experience, extreme experience. It's your turn. Whee! And they will actually be at NJMP next weekend.
Yeah,
and I believe they're at Old Dominion this weekend. Coming up. As you hear this. As you download, probably.
As I mentioned, had a great time at NCM, but you know what I missed? I missed cookies. And that's probably the reason I couldn't get around Adam Diamond. And whenever I think of cookies, I always think of our number one fan and our number one listener, Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's
mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
I'm sorry I ran into your daughter's car.
She doesn't even know that you ran into my car.
She does now.
In another state.
Speaking of janky cars and doing terrible things to them, that's what our special guest Eric Rood tonight has spent the last week doing and encouraging others to do too. And janky car rally is something it warms the cockles of our hearts because it goes back to how we met and how we got started in all this junk.
Absolutely.
So Eric just got back from the Great Lakes Mistake, and we're really excited to hear all about it. So Eric, tell us what happened on this terrible, terrible adventure.
It was great. It was terribly great. So it was 6 days, leaving from South Haven right after the Lemons race at Gingerman, and going all the way around the Great Lakes. So all the way up to Duluth. So going west. So Chicago, Milwaukee, Wausau, Duluth, and then into Ontario, all the way across Ontario to Toronto, back around Niagara Falls, the whole deal, back to South Haven. So it was like 2,700 miles or something ridiculous in 6 days. And we only had 18 cars on this one, which was a little disappointing, but we announced it late, so we kind of expected a small field, but it was really, really great field. All 18 cars were pretty awesome in their own ways, and 17 of them finished, which we were pretty excited.
Fantastic.
Wow.
That's great.
That is awesome.
Wait. And how many people got stopped and accosted at the border?
None.
None. Everyone made it out of the country into Canada, and then from Canada to America. I was very excited when I saw that on the.
I think that's got to be the reason there were so few entries, is because the Venn diagram of people that are mentally ill enough to do this, people that can get into Canada because they have nothing on their record, that doesn't overlap much. So
yeah.
100%.
It's like Eric.
Yeah.
Actually, Eric is the only guy in that Venn diagram.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, there were 17 others.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, the one team, they dressed their 98 Acura RL, TL, whatever, as a 2019 Prime Minister campaign for Donald Trump, like in an attempt to have the border agents turn them around, as far as we could tell.
That's awesome.
They let him in. They let him in somehow.
Because Canada's like, that's funny.
Just blame Canada.
I thought that was some kind of Lexus. It was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had blown rear shocks and all like the dashboard was like a Christmas tree. It was great.
Oh gosh.
270,000 miles. Like the back was like dragging on the ground. It was so good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is an Acura. I'm looking at it right now. It is a giant Acura TL.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the other winners we're talking about here?
Those guys won the Random Acts of Stupidity, which is kind of like the IOE for the rally, kind of. Somewhere in there.
You don't have an actual IOE. You name everything differently.
Yeah, it's a little different. The organizer's choice is kind of like the next best thing, which went to. I know the answer to this. Hold on. Shit.
We got time.
That's a fun team name.
You guys know Yuri, right?
Yes.
Oh
yes, we do.
Yeah. We are good friends with Yuri.
So Yuri ran the rally with Mike Zavarin, who runs. He's got a Prelude, the Mario Kart driving school car.
It's terrible.
Runs out there. It's terrible. Both those guys are awful mechanics. So they show up in a '72 Mercedes W114.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. Somewhere in the middle of Canada, the idler arm failed on their steering. Snapped in half.
That won't help. That's not good.
So,
use the ratchet strap. It's fine.
Usually, you would think like that's game over, or whatever. They found somebody at a Ford dealership to sleeve it with a bit of exhaust pipe. So they they sleeved the whole thing. It was the jankiest thing, but because it's Yuri, you're like, I could believe that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Then they had to rebuild the carbs twice on the side of the road, which was also great. No! But they made it. They made it to the end.
I love
Yuri is half of the team. Go ahead, Beto.
No, finish your point.
I was going to say Yuri is half the team that made the Weber's work on the Citroen SF. So I trust him on the carburetors. Steering arm and exhaust, I'm not that excited by Yuri's work there.
Well, because you figure he rolls up to the Ford dealership, just any car dealership, and he looks in the parking lot, and he goes to the service manager and goes, who owns that car over there? And they go, oh, that's so-and-so. I want to talk to him because he's the only guy that's going to get what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, 4 or 5 shops in whatever town they were in, turned them away. They're like, hell no.
Get out of my parking lot, you liability.
You don't do that here.
I'm not going to jankily fix your steering arm.
Jankily?
Yeah, it was great. Other good stuff. The car that won was a Volkswagen dune buggy truck, which was amazing.
Hell yeah.
Dune buggy.
So it was like a dune buggy with a bed in it. It was one guy running it by himself, and they ran into a monsoon, and there's no sides on it at all.
Yeah.
So they was ankle deep in water in it.
That's when you start drilling holes. So you can.
I think my internet. Is my internet
totally?
Sucking?
Yeah, only a little.
It's all right. We're still hearing you. It's fine.
Yep. So how about
I'll roll with it. Anyway, the best part of the whole thing was that. The dude won his trophy. He lost his starter, so he had to bump start it in reverse. He set the trophy on his fender and then tried to bump start it. And when it caught, the trophy fell off, and then he backed over the trophy and broke it.
Yeah, smashed it in half. I saw that video. I laughed so hard. I was like, this guy could be on our team. He sucks so bad. That is stepping on your wiener to a new level. I drove 3,000 miles. Look, watch this. I drove 3,000 miles in a totally screwed up car. I made it survive better than anyone else. I entered an exit. I won a $12 trophy, and then I immediately broke it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, get a hold
of us.
Sounds
like if you should be friends with.
Yeah, we got a seat for you on our next race. Absolutely.
It was absolutely amazing. Just the most perfect ending to anything Lemons that's ever existed. What else was good?
Any good roadside fixes? Any? It sounds like you listed off a
Yuri,
few of them.
Yeah, Yuri took the cake on that by a long ways.
How about challenges? Anything good there?
The challenges were all kind of jump in the lakes, which was cool. You swim in all 5 Great Lakes.
Except for that one that had too much bacteria?
Yeah, well, that's Lake Erie. I mean, what are you going to do? It's Lake Erie. Yeah, there weren't a whole lot of roadside fixes. The one car that broke was the D-list Chevy Celebrity, which was pretty good. But the Iron Duke threw a rod through the oil pan.
Bummer.
So they had to U-Haul it back to Iowa.
That's miserable.
Why bother?
Yeah.
It's a celebrity.
Exactly. Seriously, set it on fire.
Hey, it was a Eurosport, so hold your tongue.
It was a Eurosport. Yeah. They left the car. The only thing they could find to rent was like a U-Haul box truck because there were no rental cars because they were in the middle of nowhere. So
that's a plan. It's cheap.
Yeah. What else was good? There was a lifted Crown Vic. Did you see this thing?
I saw that kind of safari lifted.
Yeah. It's a guy who builds cop cars for a living. His kids did all the building of like the lifting, and they put a motor in. They built all these racks and stuff.
Hopefully, his kids are like not 5.
Yeah, they're 18
or hopefully
and 20,
they are 5.
Okay.
Or that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that was cool. And then speaking of 5-year-olds, you guys probably know Scott McMichael.
I was going to bring that up if you did.
Ford EXP. We gave him the Lemons Father of the Year trophy because he took his 5 and 8-year-old boys with him on the trip.
Yeah.
And they had an awesome time. Like it was, you expect the worst. You expect, are we there yet for 2,700 miles?
Right.
And, they stopped at playgrounds and they cut the route short to go to the hotel to swim the pool and stuff like that.
And the kids swam in a bunch of the lakes, according to what I was checking out on Instagram on the way.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure their future therapist is so glad that they came on that trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eric, can I ask you a question? Because I was following this.
Sure.
What was up with the Rood Hall pictures?
Yeah.
Because Scott McMichael's kids were 2 of the people who posed next to Rood Hall somewhere in Michigan University, Western Michigan University. What's up, yo?
The last checkpoint, unbeknownst to Steve or I, Steve McDaniel, man.
Yes.
Fucking Steve.
Yeah. The last checkpoint was between some building at Western Michigan and Rood Hall. And we didn't know this at all. So we just sent people to this sculpture that was, I don't remember what it's called, the Committee, I think it's called, in Kalamazoo. And Rood Hall was right there. So people took pictures. That's it.
Awesome.
So is that named after some relative of yours?
I have no idea. I do know that there's an Eric Rood Government Administrative Center in Nevada City, California that I haven't been to. But it's Eric Rood Administration Center on a big sign. I mean,
you better go, and you're like, that's me, right? That sign, that me.
Take
You're
a coffee.
Gonna administer the shit out of that.
Give me a coffee. Yeah. That's it right there.
For those who didn't see the Rood Hall pictures.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
I'll hold it up to the thing right here. So but it looked like it had your picture on it. Was that some sort of?
Scott photoshopped it.
We're so
that's
glad.
a Photoshop.
Awesome.
All right.
Yep.
That's cool.
Good.
So how did you and Steve McDaniels not know that Rood Hall was there? Just randomness?
It's a big country,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Even
America's hat is still big.
Yeah, it's the largest land mass in North America. Come on, Jeff.
It's Western Michigan.
It is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
Jeff,
awesome.
Jeff, you got another question.
I have another question.
Or he doesn't.
Read.
Or you could just ask it, Mental. Do whatever you want.
I could ask the question. All right. So, so Eric, talk about, because you guys put some planning into this, but you kind of don't know how it all shakes out. So I want to talk about what challenge that you had was the most fun, and then what challenge that you had was the least fun. And not that you guys didn't try, but obviously it kind of shakes out differently than you envision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't remember which checkpoint it was. I don't have my route book handy, There was one where
I don't know why. It should be like, isn't it like automatically attached to your arm?
Look under that bottle you're drinking. Look under the bottle that you're drinking to numb the pain.
Yeah, that too. No, it was in Hamilton. Like one of the checkpoints was like you left Canada, went back to the United States, and then like you had to go back into Canada. And pretty much nobody went to that because why would you do that? I think the Crown Vic was the only one that did all the checkpoints, so they did that. That one wasn't very popular. The one that was it's called Schaefer's Auto Art. I think it's in Pennsylvania or somewhere in Ohio. It's just this guy that's turned all these really cool things into like sculptures, and they're just all over his yard. And it's kind of a place like you could spend hours there, you know. So I think that's something, you know, we would expand on. Everybody seemed to like that one a lot. So
there was a couple of different public art themes in the pictures. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it was good. Wow. Pretty good. The next one is in August. It's the Monterey Car Week rally, which leaves Seaside, and then we're going to go down to LA, and then out to Yuma, and then spend a night in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and then book it back to Seaside just in time to be across the street from Concours de Lemons and to watch all these 7-figure cars roll past on their way to Pebble Beach. So
excellent.
That's in August. So yeah, check out the info on that. What's up, Mental?
And we are going to totally throw the Schaefer's Ottawa link into our show notes because that picture alone right there, that is awesome. It's a beetle that has been turned into a spider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. That's like the Birmingham track. The
Barber.
Yeah, the Barber type art type stuff. That is awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And folks, we're going to take this thing right now because we're at 55 minutes. We're going over. So you're going to be listening to this one on your way home too. So sorry, but you know what? Not sorry because this is an awesome episode.
So I also noticed there was was it a B or a midget on the rally? MGB or MG midget? That looks pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it was a 74 MGB, so last chrome bumper.
And it looked good.
Brace yourselves. They had electrical issues the entire time.
No.
I know.
Crazy.
I know that's really shocking.
They're not known for that, I don't think.
No.
Hasn't everyone on this podcast owned an English car? Because I had a midget. Chris, you've got an original MG. Chrissy, you've dealt with some English nonsense. Jeff's the only non-English guy.
No.
Oh, there was a Land Rover.
That's kind of like our collective Land Rover. It's like
I have been surrounded by British things my whole life, but I never actually owned one.
Good on you.
There you go. Someday I'm gonna inherit a 51 TD that has been sleeping in my father's garage for years and years and years. Drove it to the prom, did not own it.
That is awesome.
Well, someday. So the Great Lakes mistake seems like it was a pretty successful event. Like this is maybe inside baseball, but I don't care. I'm going to ask it anyway. The next rally is coming up. This is a kind of year 2. We've extended a lot more rallies this year. How is the Lemons Corporation feeling about these rallies? Are they digging them? I mean, it's kind of on brand, but not on brand. What's the feeling here? Do we?
Because we know how corporate Nick Rood is. Nick Rood is like
Nick
this.
Pond.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been drinking. Hey, get on brand. You will bow to the corporate masters.
You dropped into some Merly right there, but you know what you need is some branding.
So then he took the branding and he put it on my.
Yeah. Somehow you ended up talking about medical porn. It's pretty weird how it happened. The rallies, we're going to do them next year. It's kind of TBD. The numbers were a bit down on this one. And I don't know if we've just split things across 3 rallies because the Route 66 one is kind of like the big one in the fall. So I think we're going to kind of wait and see on that. But we'll have a schedule when the Lemons race schedule comes out. So
good. Gives everybody time.
Yeah.
I think July 4th events have typically not gone well for lemons, no matter what they are. So anything over that weekend seems to be a problem.
I think there were the two big issues we saw with it, I think, were the holiday weekend and then the length. 6 days is a really long time.
I mean, I would have loved to do it, but I could not have gotten that much time off.
Yeah.
So.
Mental. What's up, Mental?
Well, and I was down. I was actually going to do it with our buddy from the Untitled Car Show, but I snuck off to that. And rallies are cool, but chance to drive a race car, nothing personal, man.
No, none at all. I get it. So I don't know. We're gonna tinker with some stuff. I think we might make them a little shorter, just because I know, especially with something like the Route 66 rally, where it's going to be 7 days, and then either the beginning or the end is going to be far, far from home for people. I think that's a little daunting to people.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe aiming for more loops and then shorter ones, maybe weekends. We'll see. We'll kind of see how it goes. So Friday to Sunday.
And is Steve McDaniel still kind of a head author out there? If there's any suggestions on routes, or are you going to be stepping up and running one of these?
We'll probably be both good sounding boards on that for the time being.
Because we've had lots of conversations about crap can rallies over the years.
I bet.
And gimmick stuff.
I want to introduce you to the Maryland Low Water Bridge. That is one of the most fantastic things, and it was right on the route of Retreat from Moscow. So
is that the one with the old lady with the coffee can on a stick?
Coffee can on the stick,
yeah. Are you sure it still exists?
Yes, it still exists. I googled it the other day.
We talked about this on the last time I was on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That attached that person
every time.
I think we talked about it at Barber. I think I kind of pulled you to the topic.
All right. Yeah. Well, speaking of terrible ideas. Is it time for Hella Sweet But Terrible?
Do we have the time?
Because we already told the people we're going late. If we want to throw in these other 4 questions, I'm down.
I think we kind of talked through a lot of those, like without having to ask them directly.
No,
it sounds like
you're that good, Eric. That's how good of a media manager you are. For
exactly,
that's what I do.
There
will be a full write-up. There'll be a full write-up either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. So that'll be on Roadkill
later this week.
Roadkill, and then promoting it on social media. So look for it on the Lemons Facebook.
Should. And anyone who's listening to this, if you're not wasting your company's internet time following Eric Rood on all of his social media, you are wrong.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And if you want to see the pictures because you missed it, just check out #LemonsRally on Twitter or Instagram. You'll see them all.
So awesome, especially the Fets vet, and we talked about that last week. I'm in love with the Awkward Corner 455 because of everything they did on this rally. It was so good.
Yeah.
The what? The Awkward Corner?
The Awkward Corner 455 on Instagram. They did the Boba Fett's vet, and they did it so well. It is just, and one of the hashtag was, I promised he washed the costume. That is how good that whole.
He wore 6 days straight. He wore the same costume.
That's dedication right there.
Wow.
Dedication.
I love it. I love it so much.
That smells like my race suit.
Yeah. No, probably way worse.
That's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. So, Chris, as you mentioned, we're going to talk about Hella Sweet But Terrible, and there's a hashtag in there. Can we skip this? No, we can't, because it's another opportunity to call out Jeff.
It's a good one, actually. I kind of like this Hella Sweet But Terrible.
So I feel really bad. I think people who only know me from the podcast are going to think that I'm an absolutely terrible wrench, and I promise it's not that I'm a terrible wrench. I have the worst cars. My cars are totally terrible, and I will begin the Go ahead.
Well, no, you're a brilliant wrench. That we make jokes about the knee pads because whenever something needs to happen on one of the race cars, you're the guy, man, and you're the guy that stays up till 2 a.m. and you don't even drink that much and you make it all happen. But as you mentioned, your cars that you purchase personally, that's the failing of. I wouldn't say failing. That's the challenge. That's the challenge that Jeff faces. Because as much as you're jealous of my hair, I'm jealous of your intelligence and your wrenching ability.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but we can say I'll trade you. My wife probably agrees.
If your wrenching ability, I'm sorry, I have to jump in here. If your wrenching ability was that good, we wouldn't have spent 8+ hours on trying to get 2 bolts out of 2 controllers.
It was terrible. It was bad.
Sorry.
No other human being could have gotten those bolts out.
No. I bow down to the wrenching abilities and the car shopping abilities of Chris Abbott every day because he seems to buy things that don't have these problems, and he's gonna have to buy my next car.
Car shopping abilities.
He wants to tell you, I told you so.
He does. He's right. He's right.
But he's such a good team manager that he won't.
Yeah. So here's the story. Let me get to it. Hella sweet or but terrible. I have owned my 2002 Avalanche 2500 8.1 liter 411 geared monster with a 12,750 towing rating for 4 years.
Just no.
Hold on, Mental.
No.
For 4 years now, and the amount of times that it has been operational is probably less than half of that.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I don't ever drive it. And it sits, and everything rusts out, and the brake line's rusted out, and the body rusted out.
Is that because it's always broken, or is it because that's why you don't ever drive it, or is it breaks because you don't ever drive it? It's chicken and
the egg,
right,
because
exactly.
It gets like 1 mile per gallon.
I was just going to say,
and
AKA
my life is littered.
Donor for my Suburban.
But my life is littered with more interesting cars to drive, so it doesn't get driven. And I missed an entire winter of driving it because I broke a spring shackle mount. Now I have this fuel pump, crank angle sensor problem. And the question is, do I really need a truck that sits around like that? Or
yes.
No, we're not going to give it.
Shut up. Shut up.
I'm not going to give
Just
it
shut
you.
up. We're done.
So the question is sunk cost. I have no payments. I have the need for a tow vehicle. Do I keep wrenching on this and whipping this, or do I do something different? And by something different, I will open it to the field because we have people we know who just rent things when it's time to tow. We have people who have other things.
And that works well.
Yeah, so I'm going to open the field with hella sweet but terrible. Should I keep flogging the big giant red Clifford truck? Around the table. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Hard pass.
He doesn't know it as well as you three. So
no, I don't.
True.
Right.
I think everybody should own an Oldsmobile Cutlass cruiser wagon, but that's totally irrelevant.
Can't really tow a
enclosed trailer.
Enclosed trailer with that.
You could probably flat tow a race car.
That's
Civic.
terrible.
For about 40 feet. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll go next.
Chrissy, go ahead.
You are a homeowner. You are a handy homeowner. Therefore, you need a utility vehicle as a tool, right? Sometimes you need to tow a race car. Sometimes you need to tow furniture. Sometimes you need to haul whatever junk, load of mulch, whatever it is in the back. Somehow you need something to act as a utility tool. I think you bought the wrong truck because it was so incredibly rusty when you bought it. But the problem is, heavy-duty trucks are all stupid money. Like, I looked around today for you. Everything has 300,000 miles, or it's so ragged, like it's worse than yours. Like, they all rust, apparently. Or they're...
You're looking at any
true.
kind of truck?
It's true. When I bought it, it was rusty.
Or they're $20,000. I don't know how I found mine. Eric, what do you think?
Have you thought about getting a steel truck to protect you from bears?
Yes, absolutely.
Sounds like a great
Bears
idea.
are
In New
one
Jersey,
of the number one problems we have in this country
Right?
as far as danger.
Yeah.
and he lives in New Jersey, so yeah.
So, Jeff, here's my solution, I think, for you. The unknown secret cheap truck that doesn't seem to rust, apparently, is the Nissan Titan. It's amazing. You can find these for 4-figure numbers with sub 200,000 miles, crew cab, decent truck. They'll tow 9,000 pounds. It's a nice truck, so you won't hate driving it otherwise. And you can probably, even though your Avalanche is rusty and a piece of shit, because it's a 2,500, you'll probably still get $4,000 out of it. And you can, for not that much money more, get like an 08 Nissan Titan, and you've got something that's going to do what you need to do, and you've got a truck. It's not going to be a hateful thing, and there you go.
This is an interesting thing. I'm going to cars.com. Chrissy, let's hear your input.
Darn, I wish I went first, because the voice of reason should have gone last, so he could have told us exactly what you actually should have. I loved temporarily the idea of you getting rid of this and then just doing the towing rental deal that Hamza does, because
that's very good. Yeah,
I mean, he loves it, and if you had, but you don't really have another car to get. Unless you could tow a utility trailer with your 3,
or the Subaru,
like if you just. Or the Subaru, yeah.
Or
I mean,
if
just
you
something
to
to
get
be able
your-
to like pull some kids or some mulch. You know, you're
or
not.
excuse to get
what?
the International Harvester pickup truck running. For
True.
You have a truck that doesn't run, and it has the parts. It has the parts.
Rood is excited.
Go ahead.
If you towed your race car to the track with an International truck, Phil would be rubbing his boner all over it. I just want you to know that. I just want you to know
that.
that.
Right out, because I don't want Phil to rub his boner on me or my truck.
He's trying to get people to put
Beard
International
might be an
motors in
option.
Lemons cars.
Oh, why? That sounds like. But no, then we'd have to pick him up of the side of the road all the time. So we already have to do that when he's trying to tow with the RV.
It's no
So
less
now
reliable than the Avalanche. So
right?
Exactly.
Your inner Harvard's or your
Hamza's
truck's
deal,
not gonna do that.
he rents them from Enterprise, because you go to the Enterprise commercial. You don't go to the Enterprise like neighborhood place where you rent a Grand Am. You go to the commercial ones, and they'll rent you a diesel F350. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like cheap, and it's like a brand new.
Grand Am. The brand new Grand Am.
Exactly.
They aren't things anymore.
They're that terrible. Exactly.
So that was mine. Get rid of it is my first goal. Second of all, rent something new. You'll be so much happier. It'll be clean. You can throw trash in it. You give it back, and then you're done with it until the next time.
For low maintenance, no maintenance, because it's not yours and don't care. World's best off-road vehicle, going up that hill with a trailer. Lord, don't care. Right.
Burnouts everywhere. Done.
It's
a rental.
You can rent this MFer for $99.95.
I think the best thing to think about as the rental is when Jerry Seinfeld went to rent a car and they didn't have it and he had to get a compact, and the lady said, "Would you like the insurance, Mr. Seinfeld?" And he said, "Oh, you better put all the insurance on it, because I'm gonna beat this thing like you don't know."
Rented Buell.
This is interesting. I am searching Nissan Titans right now. I might be down with this plan, but who knows?
They're good trucks. They're good trucks.
The Avalanche is going to get one more set of fixes, and who knows? Next time it might be on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
Mental,
and no mental, I will be.
Oh, no.
I will be trading it wherever I go get it.
Mental, you
or
can
selling
buy it. Yeah, you can
Green
buy it all
money.
you want.
Yes, it will be for sale.
I'm not spending $4,000 on that rusty piece of crap.
Yeah.
101,000 miles on that 8.1.
All right.
All right.
So
you
I
guys
think
want me to-
overall, where did we end up on this, Jeff?
Okay, I think we have a 1 give it to me, 1 trade it for an Oldsmobile, 1 rent, and 1 go get a Nissan Titan. So
none
who
of
knows?
those say keep the
None of those
Avalanche.
said keep it, but I'm keeping it anyway.
None of those. Yeah,
it's
none
going
of
to get
those
at least
say-
one
Come
more
on.
fix.
No, I think the one more fix is fair. One more fix is fair. Right.
Absolutely. I
And you
have
don't
yet.
have time to go get one for next week.
Of course. I have yet to fix the same thing twice.
That's not a thing. That doesn't matter.
That's a thing.
There's stuff that keeps going wrong with it. That's a dumb thing.
There's a lot of parts. There's a lot of parts.
What, Mental?
Well, and I'm with Chrissy on this one. Yeah, just because you've never fixed the same thing twice doesn't mean it's not, dude. You gambled on a cheap Avalanche, and the rust is what's killing you on that one. And you're not going to give it to me, dude. You're too good for this. You need a good Nissan, and you need to just take me out of the give it to me camp. Put it in the sell it. Whoever buys it will be happy to have it because it's a good truck for 101,000 miles is great, and then just rent it until you need something heavy duty. And I know Eric's got something.
Mental, how about a Twinkie while Eric talks? Go get a Twinkie.
I just want to say the whole not fixing the same thing twice. GM put a lot of bad parts in their cars.
It's like a never-ending thing. You fix one, then it goes to the next thing. Yes.
I should say point. I haven't fixed the same thing twice, but I have fixed every single brake component.
more than once, and they still don't work.
Right?
No, once. Each part once. Okay. Anyway, Eric, we want to make sure that you have time to push all of your other podcasts and all those other things out there. So why don't you talk to us? Where can we find out more about your rudeness?
All right, I wrote all this down, so I wrote all this down so I can just go right through it. All right, next 24 Hours of Lemons races are at the Ridge in Washington on July 20th and 29th, and Thompson August 11th and 12th. I assume you guys will be there, right?
Absolutely.
Sweet. The Car Week Rally is the next rally. That's August 21st through 25th in California. You can follow Lemons Rally on Facebook and Instagram, and by hashtag Lemons Rally on Instagram. You can find all of the posts from the rally. 24 Hours of Lemons you can follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can listen to my podcast, The DFL Show. Follow us on Facebook, and we are on Shout Engine is probably right.
Yep. Yeah,
probably.
So that's it.
That's a podcast. Engine is.
Yeah. Yep. That's a podcast about like real racing, right? So you'll talk about professional racing.
Yeah, but we don't actually care about like anything. It's pretty reverent. Yeah.
Cool.
So Mental's actually opening a Twinkie as we speak. Thanks, Kurt. Yep. Mr. Vegan Boy just ate a Twinkie. That's a low-carb, gluten-free, vegan Twinkie for all
no
those
soy, no milk.
Yep.
Okay,
Double
so
soy.
I think next week we're going to be recapping a few races that we mentioned. Maybe we might talk about something race-worthy, and we might talk about our prep for our HPD that we're going to go. A bunch of us are going on, and I might just have a tip for everyone.
It's highly possible I may have broken something also, but that's besides the point. I think we've reached the end finally. Thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button now on Google Play. Have we reconfirmed that internationally? I don't know. Wherever you get your podcasts, check out us, check out the DFL show, check out everything you can, hashtag Lemons Rally. If you have any questions or want to give us some show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or like our race team Facebook page, the Three Pedal Mafia Race Team. If you'd rather not venture into the void that is the Book of Faces so they can keep stealing your information, just email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com or find us our Instagram or Twitter, everywhere else, everyone.racers. Thanks again for listening to the longest closing credits ever. And until next week, keep the Twinkie side up. Unless you have no Twinkies, then just keep the wheels down.